Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm doing the school pickup thing, and I got 5 or 10 minutes to kill before the bell rings. So here I am, just talking, thinking about metal for 5 or 10 minutes. Just about a week ago, I made a video outside, and I was talking about how it was so warm out, and summer appears to be here. And I don't know if you can observe it through the camera here, but it is snowing. But I don't think it's going to amount to much. So what's the big news in metal right now? Metallica, Metallica, Metallica. It wasn't the best video, we kind of rushed it, but we did put out that video a couple days ago about our experiences at the theatrical premiere for 72 Seasons. And overall, I thought it was fun. I wish there was a little bit more in the way of promotional materials, like maybe a cardboard stand or a poster you could take a picture with. If they had a plastic cup or something, I probably would have bought it. But which is kind of strange because I do have my complaints with Metallica and just their money first all the time. But I guess I'm part of the problem, right? Because I would have done that. And I mentioned that we all know this by now, but they've announced some theatrical concerts, 2 shows in 3 nights. And I do plan on going to those. And when they do eventually come through Toronto, I'm pretty sure I'll be there. But yeah, I give the album about a 7 out of 10. And while I haven't raised the score, I have listened to it several times since then, and I do like the songs better. It's still a 7, but the songs have definitely made their way into my brain a bit more, and I like it. But I don't love it, and I still am baffled to this day on how Metallica are so big. And there's probably 2 reasons, if you ask me. One is that metalheads such as myself and many of you watching this, and if you love all the Metallica albums, that's cool too. But just in general, I think most long-term Metallica fans are okay with the new stuff at best. And I think it's just because we've had, 40 years of material that's just blown our minds wide open. On the way to the theater, we were listening to Agalloch, the Mantle, in the car. And what's more special than that? Not much. Listening to a masterpiece like that, a Metallica album in 2023 falls short. But on the other hand, I do think, there's a lot of Metallica fans that it's like the only band they like and they can do no wrong. And I guess it's just a symptom of commercialization and marketing and all that stuff. But that's okay. I mean, I'm a bad eater. I eat McDonald's all the time. I actually like it. I think it's good. But it's bad for me. I shouldn't spend the money. It's a big evil corporation. But it's a blind spot for me. And I guess same with my diet. Some people do that with their entertainment choices. And that's cool too. What else is going on? I was looking at my phone for some recent metal news. And just today I saw, speaking of Agalloch, they are reforming to play a festival in Germany. And that sounds like an amazing lineup, an amazing show, and selected other dates which haven't been announced yet. So I think Agalloch are one of the greatest metal bands of all time. I saw them the last 2 times they came through town before they broke up. But it's a real shame that a lot of times it's kind of hard to find their albums brand new. You gotta find them used most of the time. But I'm sure that will change as the years go on. But do I want new material from Agalloch? It's been so few years, like what's it been, several years since the Serpent and the Sphere, that they could still do it, but I kind of put them in the same category as Emperors. Even if they put out like a 9 out of 10, it's not, it'll be a little bit of a blemish on the discography, so it's risky. But of course, I'm all ears if it happens. Bellwitch also have been announced to be releasing a surprise album this coming Friday. And I think the CD and vinyl are to follow a couple months later. This is going to be in the same vein as Mirror Reaper insofar as this is one song that eclipses 80 minutes. And I'm sure the band thought long and hard about this. It's their vision. It's what they wanted. sure they carefully consider all this stuff, but I still find one album where you need to switch CDs or, in this case, flip 4 sides of vinyl for one song. I find that kind of difficult, but even still, I love Bell Witch, and I am gonna wait till I can buy that one before I listen. Just thinking of random metal memories out there. I'll just throw them in here and there. I remember Christmas Eve 1999. I was working at the local grocery store, and we locked up about 6 o'clock, and I was waiting for my parents to pick me up, and I just walked across the street to the convenience store and bought the newest issue of Metal Maniacs and took it home that night and read it to cover in front of the Christmas tree. And I remember it had Angel Corpse on the cover, and the top, I want to say 30 metal releases of the 1990s. And it was all the writing staff, most of whom I respected a lot back then. And they all just, had a point system and compiled it to come up with their list. And what was the top 3? Number 3, surprisingly, the self-titled album by Mr. Bungle. Number 2 was Megadeth, Rest in Peace. And number 1 was At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul. And keep in mind, this is like 5 years after Slaughter of the Soul, not 25 years after. So, yeah, ever since that day, I've always had a real love for just crushing metal magazines in front of the Christmas tree every year. So, too much information, who cares? I get it. but there you go. Yeah, talking about reading, I've heard from a couple places that I think it was Chris Maycock, speaking of Metal Maniacs, he used to write for them, was working on a Bathory book. I wonder if that's still the case and when it's getting released. I can't wait to get my hands on that. I just know it's going to be good. And what am I reading right now? I'm reading that book, City on Fire by Don Winslow. He's an American author that's done a bunch of pretty mainstream crime fiction books. And it's pretty corny, but I also enjoy it. It's a bit of a page turner, so I'm reading through that one right now. No real shows on the horizon. The next one I might go to is Chemist, and then after that is Obituary, Blood Incantation, and Immolation, which seems like a can't miss death metal bill, but I haven't bought tickets yet. It's a 50-50. I'm so busy these days. That's just it. Just killing a little bit of time. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.